Good morning. Good morning. Gee, it's great to start your day with coffee with Karma today. Hi, my name is Karma Spence, and I help entrepreneurs write a lead or client attracting book in 90 days or less. So, as I've mentioned many times, and if you follow me, you would know that I am doing a grand experiment this year, 2024, by producing a book a month. And a lot of people have wondered, well, how are you doing that? Especially those close to me because they know I have a day job, which takes up 40 hours a week, and I do my business on the side right now. And I'm doing my job, my business, and I'm writing a book a month. How am I doing that? Well, in this episode, I'm going to share with you 5 things that I'm doing to help me meet these self-imposed deadlines. Sometimes not as well as I'd like, but so far so good, right? Okay. So the first thing I'm doing, and this was a decision I made last year, I took a look at what I wanted to accomplish and I realized I couldn't possibly accomplish it alone. So I engaged ghostwriters. And the only reason I paused there is because your typical ghostwriter actually writes it from beginning to end, and the writer, the author, doesn't touch the book much at all. That's not how I'm doing it because, okay, maybe I'm a control freak, but they are my books. I want to know that I wrote them. So what I've had my ghostwriters do is I give them an outline of what I want the book to cover, and I give them my content that is related to what I want in the book. And I said, take this stuff and massage it into a first draft. Then what happens is then I take a look, I edit, I add transitions, I add an introduction, I take out half of it and put half of it, put stuff back. I leave it. It's like I engage with the book on a deep level, but I didn't have to start from scratch. So that has saved me a lot of time. The downside of that is deadline creep. The deadlines aren't always made the way I was. And then when I get the book, even if the ghostwriter gives it to me on the deadline I told them, I didn't give myself enough time. So that technique needs a little massaging, and it probably works just fine if you don't have hard deadlines. But given that I need to put out a book a month in order for this experiment to be successful, or even have a hope of being successful, I have to come out with one a month. And so it's made me a little bit crazy. So another thing that I done, so thing two that I did is I meticulously planned all these deadlines. Now I'm learning that I didn't plan them as well as I should have, but it was a good start. And the way I did this is I have a spreadsheet because I love my spreadsheets. And I decided on what the 12 books were going to be. I decided what their due dates were going to be. The dates the Tuesdays I wanted them to release, which is usually the third Tuesday of the month. And then I guesstimated how long will the editor need? How long will I need? How long will the ghostwriter need? I've miscalculated with some of that. So the first book did get out on time. Second book squeaked by on February 29. March's book eh, March's book was technically on time because I wanted it to release yesterday, but because I didn't have the manuscript ready until Sunday, and I didn't want to put in pre-release before I knew I was gonna have the manuscript done, because if you here's a little thing with KDP. If you decide to do pre-release, you have to have the final draft of the manuscript uploaded to KDP a week in advance of your release date, or it all goes kapooey. So, I wasn't sure I could make that, and obviously I didn't. So, I waited and uploaded it, thinking that I could program it for Tuesday. Well, apparently, when you upload a document, when you upload your manuscript, you need to allow 5 days. You can't schedule because when I was uploading on Sunday, the earliest release date I could have was, I think, Thursday or Friday, and I wanted Tuesday, so I went ahead and uploaded it. It says it's gonna take 72 days. I thought, "Okay, 72 hours to upload." I'm thinking, "Great, that will make it ready for Tuesday." It was ready on the day I uploaded it. So, things haven't quite gone according to plan this month, but if I didn't have a plan at all, none of this would even happen. So planning is really important. And then you can tweak your plan as you go along. You can like, adjust your deadlines so that future releases work better. Third thing I'm doing is I'm following my own advice and I have outlines for every book. Now, sometimes the outline needs to be massaged a little bit. It needs to be adjusted. So what I do is I create what I call flexible outlines, which is basically I want 5 chapters. This is what I think those chapters need to be. And then when we start massaging the content, they don't quite work that way. Maybe I need another chapter, maybe I need fewer chapters, maybe I need more. But that's the beauty of an outline is if you do it right and you follow the advice I have in book number 2 that came out in February, which is all you need is the right roadmap, you can do what I'm doing. You have a flexible outline that works with you and can be adjusted on the fly. Thing number 4, I'm actually leveraging AI. I'm not having AI write my book, although I think one of my ghostwriters did use AI, which kind of pissed me off, but I massaged it out, probably not all of it, but, anyway, that's another story. But the main thing I'm using AI to do is help me brainstorm and organize what I've brainstormed. So, I often use Claude or ChatGPT. Claude is excellent at titles. So, like, if I wanna come up with, like, titles for my chapters that I want a more creative title than whatever it was I came up with, I might use Claude. I often will use the initial research. Okay, what do I need in my book? I will do a first draft outline using AI. Then I go in and I follow my own advice that's in book number 1 and I do the research on Amazon to make sure, okay, am I including everything I need to include? Am I including everything that readers are looking for and will expect? Am I including everything that or at least one thing that readers are looking for and not finding? That's covered in book number 1, which is it all starts with an idea, and I'm following my own advice there, and it has helped immensely. And thing number 5 is I'm using the same basic marketing plan for each release, and that is, a three-pronged marketing plan. Very simple. You release a cover. I'm going to real Okay, how do I put this? Hmm. Okay, so the first post or email I write is I am almost ready to reveal the cover. And it's and if you have mock-up shots, which if you need mock-up shots, let me know. I can send you a link. I am an affiliate for that program, but it's great. I love it. I use it all the time. It is probably the best investment I've ever made in my business. I've never ever rued paying that money, and it wasn't that much. Um Anyway, I use mock-up shots. They have one of those things where it shows the cover all wrapped up in a brown paper bag. I've also used Canva to, create, like, a little cover thing. So I say, "Hey," step 1 is, "Hey, I'm about to release the cover of my book." That builds a little buzz. "Ooh, she's coming up with a new book." Then I go, "Here's my cover. Yay." Now, ideally, when I say, "Here's my cover," I know when the pre-release date is, and I can say you can either pre-release now, here's the cover and you can pre-release now, or here's the cover and pre-release will be available in a couple of days. Then step number 3 is it's available. And then I just market it because I'm coming up with one a month. I don't want to market each book for like consistently for too long. So I usually do about a week, week and a half of just 2 posts a day, like maybe a week of 2 posts a day, except for maybe the weekends I do 1, and I send an email every day to my list. Um, and because I have followers on Amazon, Amazon will also send out an email to everyone on their list saying, "Hey, Karma has released a new book." And I've recently discovered that if you let BookBub know about your new release, it will send out an email to whoever's following you and eligible to receive that. Um, and so they sent that email out for this month's book. I could have been doing it earlier, but I didn't know. So that was kind of nice. And at some point, now that is your basic plan. If I had the bandwidth, meaning like I wasn't releasing a book a month, I might also invest in some of um there are some inexpensive book promotion sites that if your book is like under $2, they will promote your book, or if it's free, they will promote your book for maybe a couple $100. I might do that. So far, I've only been doing this on my own Steam, and I've had okay results. I mean, I didn't make it to number 1 in a category yet, but both book number 1 and book number 2 made it to number 1 in new releases of a category, which is better than nothing. Um, this book, I think because it was officially released on Sunday, I'm not seeing anything going on with it on usually the first day that Amazon shows you your page, it will give you a rank. There's no rankings on it. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's because it released on Sunday, maybe it's because no one's bought one yet. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But this month's book, I'm really proud of. It is called, You Can Make It to the Finish Line, and it is all about writing, editing, designing your cover and your laying out your interior, and publishing. It's got all the basics information and some of my best tips on that, and it busts the myths that you might be feeling and why you're resisting writing a book. It's a little bit longer than the first 2 books. It's 56 pages according to Amazon, and it is available now. You can go to karmaspence.com/book 3, the number 3, AJS. That's for Author's Journey Series. And there's a link to Amazon right there. Book 4 will be coming out next month, and it's called Get Your Book in the Door. It's all about marketing. Now, I am finding that I need to narrow the scope of that book, so I'm probably going to focus in on launching, and because book marketing, by the way, happens before you write the book, while you're writing the book, as you release the book, and ongoing. It's a buffet of activity that happens all the time because it's part of marketing you, and that would make a 500-page book. So, this book will be a lot more focused on you've it's assuming that you've read the first 3 books and you have a book. So it's gonna focus on launching and getting the book that you've just finished out the door and into people's hands. And then book number 5 is gonna be all about building a business around the book that you just wrote and perhaps more. That is the Author's Journey series, and 3 of those books are now available on Amazon. Amazon actually, if you go to any one of the pages, it will say you can get all 3. Amazon, because only 3 have been uploaded, it is saying that, there's only 3 books in the series. That's not true. There are 5. The other 2 just aren't out yet. But that's the only weirdness, I think, with Amazon. You can't tell it there's going to be 5. It'll only tell you this is how many are right now. That's just the way it works. Anyway, that are that there is 5 5 things that I'm doing to help myself write a book a month in 2024. I hope you found this information useful. Maybe you can use it yourself, not necessarily to write a book a month, but to get your book done because I believe in you. You really can make it to the finish line. This is Karma Spence saying ciao for now. I will see you on Friday when I will be sharing 5 whimsical ways to refresh your writing routine. Ciao.